April 1945, Germany. In the dining room of a captured inn, surgeons were operating on a wounded tank driver when the lights died. The electric bulb over the table flickered once, went black, and left the man open under bloody towels. Outside, the field generator coughed and stopped because its fuel cans had been removed. Major Alden Knox, the headquarters officer next door, had taken the gasoline to power his command radios, desk lamps, and heater. When a nurse begged for it back, Knox said, "Command decisions come before comfort." Then General George S. Patton entered the inn and saw an operation being finished by candlelight. Before we get into what happened next, if you want more untold stories from World War II, hit that subscribe button. The inn stood on the edge of a bomb-damaged town near the Rhine. Its sign had been shot in half. Its windows were covered with blankets. The kitchen was full of bandages. The bar was full of plasma bottles, and the dining room had become an operating room because it had the only ceiling strong enough to hang lamps from. By late afternoon, the wounded had been arriving for hours. The worst was Private Russell Kane, a tank driver from Michigan. His Sherman had been hit at a crossroads. The blast threw him against the controls and drove metal deep into his abdomen. He was still conscious when the medics carried him in, but the surgeon knew the truth. Kane needed light, speed, and luck. The generator outside gave them the light. It ran on gasoline from marked medical cans stacked beside the wall. Everyone in the aid station knew what those cans meant. Without them, the operating lamp died, the sterilizer cooled, and the suction pump stopped. Major Knox knew too. Knox had taken over the parlor next door for a temporary headquarters room. He wanted radios running, maps lit, and a heater beside his desk. His clerks complained of cold hands. His signal sergeant wanted steady power. So Knox sent 2 men outside and ordered them to move the medical fuel to his generator. Lieutenant Miriam Hale, an Army nurse, caught them carrying the last cans away. "Those are for surgery." One clerk looked embarrassed. "Major's orders, ma'am." Hale went straight to Knox. "Major, return that fuel." Knox did not rise from the table. "This command post is coordinating traffic, artillery reports, and supply movement. There is a man open on the table, and many men depend on these radios. The hospital generator is almost dry." Knox looked toward the closed door as if noise from surgery annoyed him. "Use lanterns." Hale stared. "For abdominal surgery?" "War is imperfect, Lieutenant. So is murder." His face hardened. "Careful." She did not move. Knox leaned back. "You medical people always think your crisis is the only crisis. Command decisions come before comfort." The word comfort stayed with her. 5 minutes later, the operating lamp died. The surgeon cursed once, then forced himself calm. Hale ran for candles. Another nurse held a flashlight whose batteries were already weak. Shadows moved over Kane's face. The suction pump stopped. The surgeon asked for instruments by touch. In the parlor, Knox's lamps glowed steadily. Patton arrived because of a traffic jam outside the inn. Trucks were stalled near the crossroads, and he wanted to know why casualties were not moving faster. He stepped inside expecting confusion. Instead, he saw men standing in the hallway holding candles around an operating room door. He pushed through. The dining room smelled of ether, blood, and wax. A surgeon bent over Kane while Hale held a candle near the wound, her hand steady but her face pale. The bulb above them hung useless and dark. Patton's voice cut through the room. "Why is this surgery in the dark?" The surgeon did not look up. "Generator dead, sir." Patton turned to Hale. "Fuel?" Taken for headquarters next door, sir. Patton walked out without another word. The parlor was warm. Lamps burned over maps. A heater hummed beside Knox's chair. Radios crackled. Knox stood quickly when Patton entered. "General, we are maintaining command communication." Patton looked at the heater. "Looks comfortable." Knox swallowed. "Sir, this post is operationally necessary." Patton pointed toward the dining room. "So is keeping a man alive with his belly open." Knox tried to explain. "Medical can function with substitute lighting for a short period." Patton stepped closer. "Have you ever watched a surgeon find a bleeding artery by candlelight?" "No, sir." "Then you were not qualified to decide it was acceptable." Knox said, "I believed command priority justified temporary transfer." Patton's eyes moved to the fuel cans beside the parlor generator. "You believed your maps deserved gasoline more than his blood deserved light." No one spoke. Then Patton gave the order. "Carry every can back." Knox turned to his clerks, but Patton stopped him. "No, you carry them." Major Knox lifted the first can himself. It was heavier than it looked. He carried it through the hall, past wounded men on stretchers, past nurses who did not step aside, and past the operating room where Kane still lay under candles. The fuel was poured back into the medical generator. The engine sputtered, caught, and steadied. The bulb over the table flared to life. The surgeon exhaled. "Keep it running." Patton looked at Knox. "You will." Knox blinked. "Sir, you will stand beside that generator until this operation is finished. You will check the fuel. You will listen for every cough of that engine. And if it fails, you will come tell the surgeon why you thought a heater mattered more." Knox stood outside in the cold, one hand on the fuel can, listening to the engine. The parlor lamps were shut off. The heater went silent. The radios were moved to battery power and a jeep set. Headquarters kept working, just less comfortably. Inside, the operation continued. Kane survived the table. Barely. By midnight, he had been moved to the rear hospital. The surgeon later said that losing light at the wrong moment could have killed him. He did not say Knox had almost murdered a man. He did not need to. Patton was waiting when Knox came back in from the generator. The major's gloves smelled of gasoline. "How long did that operation take?" Patton asked. "Nearly 2 hours, sir." "How long were your clerks cold?" Knox looked down. "Nearly 2 hours, sir." "And which one was fatal?" Knox had no answer. By morning, he had been relieved of authority over local power and fuel. The report stated that he had diverted marked medical gasoline for headquarters convenience and endangered emergency surgery. A new order followed. Medical fuel, power, and lighting could not be seized by command posts without direct authorization from a surgeon and the senior combat commander on site. Lieutenant Hale kept working until dawn. When someone later asked whether she had been afraid to confront Knox, she said she had been more afraid of watching a man die under a dark bulb. Kane lived. He never knew the major's name. He remembered waking days later and asking why his dreams smelled like candle smoke. No one told him all of it. Patton moved on with the army, but the inn changed after that night. Fuel cans were marked in larger paint. Guards were posted beside the generator. And every officer who entered the parlor saw the empty space where the heater had been removed. The story was not only about gasoline. It was about the danger of comfortable men deciding what suffering can tolerate. Knox called surgery by candlelight a temporary inconvenience because he was not on the table. Patton forced him to stand beside the engine and learn that light is not comfort when a life depends on it. Was Patton right to make Major Knox guard the generator through the operation? Or should he have arrested him the moment the medical fuel was found? Let us know in the comments. and subscribe for more untold stories from World War II.